Hello, welcome back to this channel. Today's gonna be a very fun video because if you guys are new, recently we built our 2.0 setup, which is gonna really change a lot of stuff. But the only way to really tell if it's making a lot more progress than like the system you can see behind me is if we compare the plants together. So, as you can see behind me, we ended up planting these strawberries at the same exact time. Half of them went on this shelf, while the other half went into the 2.0 setup in the other room. Same thing with the microgreens, but the microgreens are a little bit newer than how the strawberries are. So at some point during this video, we'll be comparing both of those plants, really deciding on what we think about each grow light, and I'll be talking about a little bit more about my big dream in today's video. If you guys are new, you'll know what that means in a second. But before we do go and start today's video, please subscribe, hit the bell notification on all so you not miss our video, and please like this video. Let's go and start today's video. So this is my indoor garden. There's so much absolutely incredible stuff happening, but we're gonna be talking about two shelves today. We're gonna be talking about this one right here. We're gonna be talking about the other one in the germination room, also known as the home of the 2.0 setup, and also the bathroom. So definitely a lot of stuff. Now both are the exact same. They both have fans. They both have somewhat about the same amount of spacing between the plant and the light, but the thing that makes it different is LEDs. While these are pinkish white, the other ones in here are going to be purple pink. So definitely a big light change, but at the end of the day, what's interesting is the pink purple are a little bit lower wattage than these. Now I haven't fully checked that with the watt checker device thing yet, but from what I saw when I purchased that, that's what it sounded like. So this is a beautiful setup, but you're probably wondering, this setup is absolutely incredible. Why on earth would I be building a 2.0 setup when I have like this amazing of a setup? Now, I will say that this is an absolutely incredible setup, but if you guys are new to the channel, I've had a huge dream for the last like 4 or 5 months where I really want to start my own produce business. Now, I have a lot of experience working with business. I do Lego investing on the side off of this channel, and I also have a slime business in the other room. But with this plan is going to be one of my biggest, most ambitious projects I've ever done. And the reason why I'm saying that is because one of the things I've really found a love for the last few years is working with plants and working with how they grow and just all of that absolutely incredible stuff. So the setup for this dream business is going to have to be a lot bigger because this setup does produce a lot, but for a business that I want to have as a main career, I have to go a lot bigger. So I'm going to most likely times the size of this by 3 to 4 times the size. Now this room is big, but it's not huge. So even though I'm already going up, I'm going to have to go even higher. So that's one of the main things. So this shelf is much taller than the other ones. It's 6 foot, while these ones are not 6 foot. Ventilation is also a big thing, so we're starting to work with fans being on the actual shelves now. So that'll be a huge game changer. And we're also working with LEDs to see if maybe white pink lights aren't the most ideal thing. Also, what would be the most efficient lights to really work with? Because at the end of the day, with working with a setup that big, it will get quite expensive some days when it does come down to electrical. So that's kind of the main reasoning why I do want to go with that. So I'm trying to advance the setup, make it a lot more efficient, and that's kind of what we're going to be working with the 2.0 setup. The 2.0 setup is definitely absolutely incredible, but I do feel like, I will say this because I'm going to say it multiple times in today's video, I do like these white pink lights a little bit more, and I will tell you guys why in a second. But first of all, let's bring some of those plants right by the other ones and compare how they look and see if we can really notice anything big. All right, so I ended up taking the best plants off of each one. And I will say from the 2.0 setup, it looked a little bit better than that. But when you look at it from this view, I don't think you'll be able to tell which one was from the 2.0 setup. So that is interesting, and this is actually the first time I've actually looked at it right next to each other. If you guys guessed it, this one is from the 2.0 setup. I do feel like the leaves are a little bit bigger and slightly more green on that darker green, but I do feel like at the end of the day, I just really like working with pink white lights. And let me tell you why really quickly. So these lights are very nice because they are strong and the plants do seem like they do thrive in it a little bit more. The only reason why I don't like them is number one, they suck. They suck to work with. Now that sounds horrible. That sounds like my entire opinion just changed in the last 30 seconds. And to be honest, I like them for the model. I do feel like the metal, the cording, everything on it is much more high quality than the other ones. Just these LED lights I don't like because the working conditions are so brutal. And I will say, when I work with these plants and kind of touch them up here and there and try to examine to make sure each one is looking good, I always walk into the other room and then it takes my eyes a few minutes to adjust. And when I work in the other room around these pink, like my eyes have to adjust now that I've walked into the other room. But these lights, I can work with these all day. My eyes might be a little bit red after like 8 hours of working with these. And to be honest, if you're gonna be in a greenhouse about this size, working with grow lights, I'd consider wearing special designed grow light glasses. It's just gonna be a lot better on the eyes and stuff like that. So I will say at the end of the day, even though the pink lights have been one of my favorites because just the quality is really, really good, I do feel like now that I've kind of compared it and I've done a lot more research. So these ones are really, really good, but this one helps, the pink helps photosynthesis a little bit more because it's a little bit more red. But at the end of the day, there's a lot more cons on this. Well, comparing it to the other ones, it has a lot more cons than pros. So some pros are they're more high quality. I feel like if I drop it, it's not gonna really dent. The other ones I don't think are gonna dent either, but I feel like the metal on this is a little bit thicker. I almost feel like the cording is thicker. So quality, I give it a 9 out of 10. There are a few things I don't love about it, but definitely very, very nice to have that feature with this. I will say another thing is the brightness is nice, but I feel like for like the human eye, it's really not the best. But at the end of the day, grow lights, the brighter they are, the better they're gonna be. So that's still fine. Another thing is, another pro about it is, to be honest, there's not many pros actually. I will say, kind of what I was leading towards a second ago with the brightness. A pro is kind of the brightness. It is really nice how it is super bright, but it's not my favorite because I do feel like the white lights in there are really bright also. So that's kind of in between. But cons are, since it is a darker red, the leaves are going to try to stretch up a little bit higher, more like they're trying to grab the light. And I've already noticed that in these plants. Another thing is these lights, these lights don't get as hot as the other ones. I will say these do get warm, so just keep that in mind. Another thing is, another con is the working conditions. I already talked about that. Working conditions suck. And, other than that, there's not a ton, but just grow light LEDs mainly the main problem with this. I do have intentions of, when I do build my much bigger setup, I do have plans on buying from this company, again, the same exact model, except a different LED installed into the light. That is going to be a pink white light. Because these are very, very high quality, but at the end of the day, let's go into the other room and kind of talk about some other pros too. I've really talked about most of everything in here. The working conditions are really well. They do hurt the way you kind of see the plants a little bit more than like if you set it outside, but at the end of the day, it's much better than how the other lights are. I will say these lights are really good, but I do feel like the white lights do get a little bit more warmer than the other ones. And to be honest, there's not many cons besides these aren't the most high quality. They are good. They're not horrible. I'd say they're a little bit better than good, kind of in that high medium area, but definitely looking pretty good. And I have noticed a few of the plants are kind of dying out, but Both systems are having it, so at the end of the day, that is still fine. I'm gonna go ahead and bring out the sugar peas and compare those, and let's see if we can see a difference. All right, so these are the microgreens. Keep this in mind. This tray is this system, and this tray grew in the other system in the bathroom. But let's just kind of get a side view and see if any are growing. I'd say about height-wise, they're the exact same. I almost feel like the other ones are a little bit higher. I am going to be doing a test taste in a different video where these can grow a little bit more, but I do feel like, let's kind of feel them texture-wise. I do kind of feel like these feel a little bit harder than these over there. These feel a little bit soft, actually. So that is interesting, but at the end of the day, I think for microgreen wise, I'd rather have a little bit softer peas. Those are very firm microgreens, which aren't the most ideal. But at the end of the day, microgreens will come from mainly taste tests to see which one has the stronger and best and crunchiest taste. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to give the white pink lights the win for this one too. So let's go ahead and compare the sunflower ones now too. All right, same exact thing. This microgreen tray is over here, and this microgreen tray is in the other room. But in a way, I kind of feel like these are a little bit higher, but at the end of the day, they're basically the exact same. I do feel like these feel a little bit more firm than these, but at the end of the day, those feel like basically the exact same. And I think both of them are going to become for a tie right now. There's not much difference I can really say about these because they do look the exact same. I do feel like color-wise, the ones from the other grill lights are a little bit darker than these, which indicates they're going to be a little bit more healthy in a way, because usually the darker the green is, well, talking about lettuce and like spinach, usually the darker the lettuce or the leaf, usually the healthier it's going to be. But I will say, at the end of the day, the color-wise, they're about the exact same, so I'm not really going to have to say much about that either. But at the end of the day, I think there's not much to compare about. And you're probably wondering, I do want to address this before I do in the video. I've had this set up for about 2 weeks. There's not going to be any crazy stuff to compare yet, but I'm hoping to keep the setup up for about another month, and we'll do another video about this exact same thing in about 3 weeks to compare even more beautiful plants. And I'll probably do a video talking about the microgreens in probably 5 days or something like that. It's coming up, so just keep that in mind. And other than that, this will be the end of the video. So sadly, this is going to be the end of the video. Before we do go ahead and end today's video, please subscribe, hit the notification on all so you're not missing our video, and please like this video. If you guys have any questions that you really want to ask, please ask those comments down in the comments below, and I'd really love to do my best on answering those questions as best as I possibly can. So thank you all so incredibly much for watching today's video and supporting the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow when we post next. Peace.